Thank you. Thank you.
That is so sweet. I wanted to also back up and ask you about how this all began for you, this journey. What called you into this line of work?
You know, when we heard that there were so many thousands of children coming to our border, and the immigration did not know what they were to do with so many kids. Actually, the United States was not prepared to handle so many children at one time. And what happened was that they were arriving and being detained in these little facilities that hold only 300 people at one time, and they had over 1,500 in those facilities. And most of them, if not all, were children. Because unfortunately, the United States did not know what to do with these children. There needs to be a place where the children needed to be passed on to the Office of Refugee and Resettlement. And they didn't have a home or anybody to take care of them. So the Border Patrol was forced to keep them in that facility. You had thousands of children just crammed into little cells. I asked for permission to go in and see for myself, and a judge granted me that permission. The power of a judge, huh? So he did. He told me, "Sister, you can go in." He got permission from me, and it was the most difficult moment that I have ever experienced, to see children, tiny little ones, 5, 8, 6 years old, all in these little cells that hold a few people. They could not even sit down, much less lay down, and they were there for days, weeks. It's not right.
And there was no air conditioning, right? It was very,
there was air conditioning, but it was so tight, so tight of the children all over around them. And I asked the officer, "Let me go inside." And they said, they didn't really want me to, but I said, "I want to pray." And so that's the magic word. And so I went in, and the children all around me, crying with their faces full of tears, telling me, "No puedo respirar. I can't breathe. Get me out of here, please." And we said, "Let's pray." And so we all prayed together, and we're all crying. And the officers, you could see them through the glass doors looking in as we were doing this. And I walked out, and the officer in charge tells me, "Sister Norma, thank you, because you made me realize they're human beings." It was at this time that I realized how important it is for us to do something. The respite center, the response that we did to welcome, because Sacred Heart was the families, the children that actually came with a child, with a mother or a father, were allowed to travel because there was no room for them. They needed to make rooms for the kids because they had to hold the kids until the Office of Refugee Resettlement figured it out and find a place to put them. So in the meantime, they had to let go of the parents with the kids. And those are the families that we received. They were dropped off at the bus station after having them there for several days, weeks, in terrible condition, totally dirty, muddy, really hadn't had a chance to clean up, shower, or nothing. Not really received a decent meal or anything like that. So we went to the bus station where they were being dropped off, hundreds of them. The very first night, 200 of them at 6 in the afternoon when I received the call, "Help us, sister. We need to help these people." So I go to the bus station and I invite them. "Come to Sacred Heart, we want to help." And at their social media, I called a lady and I said, "Esperanza, meet me at Sacred Heart." "What for, sister?" "I don't know, but we'll figure it out." And call your friends, and they call your friends, and everybody was at Sacred Heart instantly with Pampers and milk and everything that we needed to make sure that these families received what they needed to be taken care of and have a decent, nice, a sense of the fact that they're human beings.
A sense of dignity.
And they could receive that dignity again. And so that's what we did. You know, the city of McAllen found out that we were doing something at Sacred Heart, and they decided to go and check up and we were helping everybody. We didn't have restrooms, showers, and so we had wipes and then cleaning them up as best as we could. And so the city attorney, and he's also in charge of something else in the city, walks in and tells me, "Sister Norma, what are you doing here?" I turned around and I looked at all the people and all the volunteers, just as I can look here tonight. It was filled with people, volunteers and refugees and everybody, and I said, restoring human dignity. That response. He didn't expect me to say that. And he said, "Sister, if I had a little magic wand, what would that little magic wand do for you? Not that it's going to do anything." And I said, "Showers?" That evening we had 8 showers, portable showers. It was wonderful. It's amazing to see a mother going to a shower and let water run through their body, cleaning all that dirt and mud and days of and pain, because you can even hear them cry as they were showering, and come out there with this glow in their faces of thanks to God. And it's like, "How do you feel? ¿Cómo te sientes?" "Ay, sister, se siente tan bien, wonderful." And Kevin, the city officer that was there, I said, "Well, thank him. He was the one that made it happen." He turned red. And he said, "Thank you." It was wonderful to take part, for all of us to join. That from that moment on, the city of McAllen government was 100% there with us. The city mayor, the city manager, everybody. Anything Sister Norma wanted, Sister Norma had.
And you see I have this clock down here. It's counted me down. But you know what? I'm the MC. I'm invoking my power as MC. I'm going to extend this interview. I'm going to ignore that clock. I have a few more questions for you, because there is a connection between the beautiful work you do in Texas and here in the Bay Area. We've seen a number of those families arrive here in the Bay Area. What can we do here to help them?
It's very true that there is something wonderful happening here. And that's these families that have arrived here, that after they've left and gone through so much, they can't make it if San Francisco does not help them. Catholic Charities here is doing a wonderful job in making sure that they get the help they need. Because I've heard, if these families, these children, if they don't have legal representation, 0 of them, 0 for sure, are going back to their countries, to the violence and to the future that there's no future for them. There's only death that they're facing. But if they have legal representation, 80% will have a case to be here in the United States. Amazing, So the work that Catholic Charities is doing here is extraordinary, and it happens only because it's supported by the people that are here tonight. Thank you.
And so what is next for the center and for you?
Well, we have to, as our Holy Father tells us and reminds us, is that we have a responsibility to care for one another, especially for those who are vulnerable and cannot help themselves. It is our responsibility to make sure that we continue to do God's work here on earth. And we should do that.
And just to wrap this up on a fun note, your sister Erasima is here. She lives in Brownsville, just an hour away from where you are. And we were talking a little earlier, and she says that she sees you often. She comes to see you at the convent.
Yes.
And so what do you wild and crazy gals do on the weekends at the convent?
Are you joining the convent?
If you're there, I'll join you.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, we have a lot of fun. We us girls, we get together, my niece and all us. We play cards, we dance, we sing. We just have a great time.
What kind of dancer are you?
Oh, well, you have to come.
And on that note, if you want to see Sister Norma dance, you come to the convent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.